No estaba. Vamos, los gatos te esperan. Yo te llevaré.
¡Idiota! ¡Estúpido! ¿Acaso crees que te tengo miedo?
Sí, sí puedes. Sí, es hora de los agradecimientos. Llegó la despedida.
¿En dónde queda mi venganza? ¿Qué hago con mis objetivos? ¿En dónde quedan mis planes? Dime, ¿cómo lo olvido? ¿Soy una niña? ¿Soy una tonta? ¿Cómo lo hice?
No.
Eres, aún no me conoces. Estaré increíble. ¡Jivan!
Para estar solos.
The kind that builds after failure, the kind that whispers, this time will be different. From the very first scene, you can feel a fresh start forming, a second chance hanging delicately in the air. But what makes this episode unforgettable is how quickly hope begins to clash with reality. The story centers around redemption, the struggle to rebuild trust after breaking it, the effort to prove change without demanding forgiveness, and most importantly, the painful truth that growth takes time, but doubt arrives instantly without any call. At first, the progress feels genuine, effort is visible, action speaks louder than words. There is restraint where there used to be impulse, patience where there used to be pride. You begin to believe that transformation is possible, but the past doesn't disappear just because the present improves. Midway through the episode, old mistakes resurface, not physically but emotionally. A memory, a reminder, a hesitation in someone's voice. Suddenly, the weight of history presses down on every interaction. Trust is not rebuilt with one good decision, it tested with every small one that follows. What makes this episode powerful is its realism. Redemption here is not glamorous, it is uncomfortable, it is awkward, it is filled with moments where progress feels invisible, and yet the effort continues. There is a pivotal scene where doubt takes over, a misunderstanding threatens to undo everything, and for a brief moment it feels like a history is about to repeat itself. The tension is suffocating not because something explodes, but because something might. And that is the brilliance of this episode. It plays with expectation, it makes you fear the fall, it reminds you how fragile growth can be. One wrong move, one emotional reaction, one slip, and everything could collapse. But instead of chaos, we get restraint. Instead of anger, we get accountability. And that shift is powerful. The episode doesn't promise instant forgiveness, it doesn't magically erase pain. Instead, it focuses on effort, consistent, quiet effort. It shows that redemption is not about grand gestures, it is about daily choices. It is about choosing differently when it would be easier not to. Visually, the tone evolves throughout the episode. It begins with soft light, symbolic of hope, then shadows creep in as doubt grows. By the end, the lighting feels balanced, not fully bright, not fully dark, reflecting a journey still in progress. The final moments are subtle but meaningful. There is no dramatic embrace, no complete resolution, just a small sign of trust returning, a door left slightly open instead of fully closed, and somehow their small gestures feel bigger than any dramatic apology ever could. This episode reminds us that redemption isn't a destination, it is a process, a fragile, ongoing process that requires patience from both sides. When the screen fades, you are left with a quiet sense of realization. And change is possible, but it is never easy and it is never guaranteed. And maybe that is what makes change feels intense. Midway through the episode, the tension finally surfaces. A truth long suppressed finds its way out, not through anger but through exhaustion, and that's what makes it powerful. The revolution doesn't explode, it lands, it settles heavily into the room, changing the dynamic instantly. Reactions are complex. There is a shock, yes, but also recognition. As if deep down everyone sensed this moment would come. The denial fades, replaced by clarity, painful clarity. This episode doesn't paint anyone as purely right or purely wrong. Instead, it explores the gray areas of human behavior. Pride prevents early honesty, fear justifies questionable decision, and love, ironically, becomes both the motivation and the casualty of those choices. One of the most compelling aspects of this chapter is how it handles emotional vulnerability. Admitting fault is not easy here. Neither is admitting hurt. There is a struggle between maintaining dignity and exposing raw emotion, and that struggle feels real. Visually, the episode enhances the emotional stakes. Lighting becomes more dramatic as the tension rises. Close up shots capture subtle expression, a trembling lip, tightening jaw, eyes that reflect both regret and defiance. These details amplify the intensity without needing dramatic theatrics. As the confrontation deepens, so does the understanding. It becomes clear that the conflict was never just about one event. It was about accumulated silence, about unresolved frustrations, about feelings dismissed in earlier moments that now return with greater force. There is a pivotal exchange near the final act that defines the episode, a calm but deeply honest